Okay, here we got question 15. As always, pause the video, have a go at the question first before I go through the answer, if you haven't done so already. Sector questions. Quite a nice question for this end of the exam paper. We're getting towards the AA star stuff. We see a sector question. If you're used to them, they're fairly straightforward to do. There's nothing complicated involved in here apart from the actual calculation for the sector itself. There's no extra to it. Two types of sector questions. We can have a perimeter question or an area question. Area is slightly easier because you don't have to remember to add anything extra at the end, but with a perimeter question we need to add these two lengths here, which are both 8, as well as find out this length of the arc around the outside. Okay, we'll start with finding the length of the arc around the outside. If it was a whole circle, okay, and we always get a mark for working out the whole circle first, the circumference is going to be pi times the diameter. Okay, we're given the radius is 8, which is halfway across, so the diameter is going to be 2 times the radius, which is 8, which gives us 16. So our circumference is going to be pi times 16, which is 16 pi. Could calculate the value for that, but I like to leave it in pi because I don't have to think about the decimal places and stuff. Now the key to all sector questions is this angle here. What fraction of the whole circle is it? And as there's 360 degrees in a whole circle, this fraction is 280 out of 360. Now most people don't have a problem working with things like a quarter circle or a half circle, semicircle, but all those are fractions of the 360. So with a semicircle you've got 180 degrees out of 360, that's a half. With a quarter circle you have 90 out of 360, that's a quarter. It doesn't really matter what the angle is, it's out of 360, this one's 280, so that's our fraction of the whole circle. And we want that fraction of the whole circle, which is 16 pi, which we calculated up there. And if we multiply all that together, we'll get we get a value. If we put the answers on, it will give you 39.095 something. Okay, so that's this arc around the outside, and to finish it off we must add on the 8 and the 8. You could leave all this in pi. It doesn't actually tell you to work it out to any decimal places, so you could have left this all in pi. But if you do that, you'll get an answer between 55 and 56, which is 55.095. So 55.1, or even just 55 would do. I'm going to leave as 55.1 because that's 3 significant figures for 4 marks. Where do we get the marks? Where the marks are given? Well, like I said, there's 1 mark for working out this value. It could be 16 pi or whatever the decimal equivalent of that is. There's always a mark for working out this whole circle. So if you do an area, if you work out the area of the whole circle, that'll give you a method mark. And then there's the mark for knowing that you've got to times your whole one by the fraction. And getting this answer as a mark. So there's a method mark there. There's this method mark here. There's this answer mark here, and then there's the extra one for getting to the final answer, which is actually a B1 mark with follow through. So that means if you've got any answer here and you added 16 to it, you actually get a follow through mark. So whatever answer you've calculated plus 16 will give you an extra mark. So there are some marks there available even if you're not 100% sure what you're doing.